Man, oh man, my delicate friend. Welcome back to the channel. Make sure to like, sub, and comment, or do the opposite for the realist fans out there. So, my man Conrad put out a video called KSI versus Adam is Not Happening. And essentially, as you guys know, your boy is gonna expose this clown once again. So get your popcorn, get your juice boxes, Capri Suns, what have you. I don't really care. And let's get into the video. So I'm gonna play certain clips, certain bits, and then give my counterpoints. And yeah.
It's basically KSI cancelling his spar with...
That word cancel is already just a blatant lie. KSI did not cancel this spar. Adam Sala did. KSI was more than willing to box, to fight, to brawl with Adam. But because Adam didn't get his way, he's not going to go to the UK. So Adam was the one that canceled the spar, not KSI. Also, the moment that Adam's fight ended, he should have gone onto a plane and into the UK, because you have to quarantine for a certain amount of days, and Adam didn't do that. So, I mean, it all seems very sketchy on Adam's part. But anyways.
Adam Sala. The main reason why this isn't happening is basically because JJ said, look, Adam, you cannot record the spar. It's not happening. Like, even JJ's manager has come public with this, saying that...
So we're just going to fast forward a little bit.
It's because they don't want to show the world what JJ can do. Now, I've seen a few people online basically saying that, you know, they're supporting Adam, saying that JJ doesn't want it recorded, just in case if JJ does get roughed up, and then obviously if Adam releases that footage, it will just embarrass JJ. Now, I made a video basically saying that I think JJ would beat up Adam. So, I'm not one of them people that's saying that JJ is scared. That's not the reason why JJ isn't letting him record the spar. But if you believe that JJ isn't letting Adam record the spar for their official reason of them saying that it reveals too much, I'm sorry, but please, just listen to what I'm about to say.
So he basically goes on to a tangent about KSI sparring Adam and how, you know, KSI's excuse, even though it's not an excuse, it's a very good reason, is invalid. But yeah.
You will understand why that is one of the most stupid and most bullshit statements.
Hey, this is a family channel, Conrad.
First, I do understand partly that, you know, it's a tradition for professional boxers to not release this.
So then he goes on, he says that, like, KSI is different because he's a social media guy and he talks a lot. So that's basically what he says here.
It's the easiest way for people to understand. It is a spar, okay? Sparring is a form of training. Sparring is for you to get more confident in the ring. It is a way for you to learn how people move in the boxing ring. It helps you learn how to throw punches and what punches to throw in certain situations. It is a form of training. Here's the problem with all of this. They're acting like this one spar is going to ruin this magical technique that they have. They're acting like it's going to absolutely ruin all of JJ's chances to beat his future opponent. When JJ fights Austin McBroom, it is not in a couple of weeks, it's not in a couple of days. It will be months and months ahead from what it is now. And if JJ is serious about boxing, he will go into a boxing camp, which is where he would develop the most as a boxer. So JJ has months of training and a camp to get through where his ability will improve significantly from where it is now. Even if they released the sparring footage between these two, it wouldn't reveal shit. I don't know why they're acting like JJ has invented some magical punch that nobody's ever thought about in boxing, or he's come up with some multiple combos that no one knows about. In boxing, there is only a certain amount of punches. There is only a certain amount of combos that you can throw. And there's only certain punches that work when countering. So why are they acting like they have to keep something top secret? It's just stupid. It makes no sense. When you're
It's just stupid. It makes no sense. Sorry. The counterpoint's coming, guys. I just want you to hear the man talk. Let Conrad guide you with his very seductive voice.
Fighting a real boxer or a fighter, they're not going to look at your sparring footage and think, okay, he's going to come out on fight night exactly like that. Because guess what? Because when you fight on the fight night, it is different to sparring because they're two completely different things. Sparring is training. You don't always go 100%, as guess what? It's practice. On the fight night, they might look at
Okay, so then he just talks about
you have,
other stuff.
and they'll realize what punches you throw, all the figuring each other out. The thing is JJ's saying that he wants people to think that he's going to fight his next opponent like he did with JJ. Fair enough, okay? That's cool.
It's so weird that he says fair enough, and then he goes into another point, because he knows... But anyways, we're getting to...
At the end of the day, like I said,
counterpoint.
If you release sparring footage right now, by the time it comes to the fight night, you should have developed a lot as a boxer because that's a lot of time to train. So that sparring footage is completely irrelevant by the time the fight night comes along. And not to mention, JJ released sparring footage before when he fought Logan. And guess what? He still won. Because JJ looked completely different in his sparring than what he did on fight night. Honestly, the only reason why JJ doesn't want Adam to record this is because obviously, you know, he probably didn't expect Adam to win that fight. I got no respect for you if you rigged the fight because everyone thinks that he rigged the fight. And obviously JJ said that he would do it. When it came down to it, when Adam was still up for it, JJ needed some excuse to not do it. And obviously the official reason is it's not revealing too much. Literally makes no sense whatsoever. The honest to God truth is JJ just doesn't want to give Adam...
Okay, so this is where he gets into his next point. So I want to bring up a comment that I saw that I put into a Word doc that kind of summarizes my counterpoint. And so this guy says, I don't mean this from a point of view of us out of spite, and I hope I don't come across as a fanboy. But I do think it is unfair of you to say that he has not improved at all, or for you to call him bad. If I'm not mistaken, Gibb and JJ both have the same trainers, with maybe only a few different people. But to get back to what I was saying, to indicate is that Gibb improved in a little over a year, so I feel JJ has improved in a similar fashion to Gibb, so he's probably just trying to build up anticipation for his next fight or someone else. And this exactly right there, that statement right there, is pretty much my counterpoint. Is Gibb, Anisan Gibb is living proof of what KSI is saying. Because if we go back to January of 2020, the way Gibb fought against Jake was so bad. And then when he fought Taylor Holder this past summer, it was like a completely different person, like a completely different fighter. KSI and his team are not saying we're trying to reinvent boxing or we've come up with the next like peekaboo stance or whatever. That's not what they're trying to say. What they're trying to say is people, and I've even seen this in the Realist comments, and the Realist literally said this, that when KSI boxes Austin, he's probably going to have the windmill technique. KSI knows the perception is he's got no technique, and he throws windmills. That's the perception he wants people to have leading up into his fight. Even Austin McBoom, in his interview with the Hollywood Reporter or whatever, not the Hollywood Reporter, but the paparazzi, said, KSI learned how to box. Because that's a mentality JJ wants people to have. Like, with Gibb, we did not expect him to come out looking that good. Neither did Taylor. There was literally video footage of Taylor Holder talking with Canelo about Gibb's movements and Canelo giving him like tricks on how to deal with that kind of stance and pressure. I didn't think Gibb was going to come out as bad as he did against Jake, but I thought it was going to be more of the same because obviously if you saw his sparring footage, you saw that he continued to get worse and worse and stay the same. Except he didn't. And he came out looking like a completely different boxer. So that's what KSI is trying to say, is he's not reinventing boxing, but he's simply going to come out completely different to the way people think, and when he does, he wants people to be like, oh my god, this is so shocking, and this will be a great business move also, because KSI, when he has his next pay-per-view fight or whatever, everyone's going to be like, we haven't seen him fight in 2 years, I want to see his improvements, did he actually get better, or is he the same? It creates anticipation, it makes people want to see his next fight even more. It's pure business common sense, and if you don't think that's common sense, then maybe you shouldn't be doing business stuff. And I'm not a professional business marketer, but it makes common sense to me. So hopefully that tangent made sense, and this comment definitely summarizes this whole point. because again, Gib is a prime example of somebody that did not show a lot of boxing footage leading up to the Taylor fight, and then when he did, he shocked the world. Everybody completely has a completely different perception of Gib as a boxer. Like I say that Gib before the Jake fight did not live up to the hype. That was never a reality. But now that is the reality. The hype is there. He lived up to those things. Um, and for example, if Adam Sala said to Gib before the Taylor fight, Gib, I want to box you, and Gib was like, cool, but I don't want you to film it. Um, and Gibb's reasoning was the same as KSI's, and then we saw the Taylor fight, we'd be like, oh, okay, this is why, because Gibb was a completely different fighter. You know what I mean? Like, if like in this hypothetical universe, let's say that Gibb and Adam sparred, and they didn't put out the public footage, and then we saw him fight Taylor, and then Gibb's whole point of, I don't want this to be put out publicly because I changed so much, people would be like, it got validated, that's actually true, and then they put out the footage, and everyone's like, oh, wow, like, Gibb did more damage. Like, he wants to keep people in suspense and keep the surprise. And again, you saying, oh, KSI's got this windmill technique, that's that perception. He wants to stay the same. And it's smart, because Austin is going to base all of his stuff off of KSI's windmill techniques. And there was footage of him going up against Sensei and all these spars that I point to that some people don't even know about, and they still will say, "Oh well, that's not good enough," or "Well, in the lights or whatever case, I still loses it." So, regardless of the spars that show that he has technique, people still have that perception, regardless. And and with the Face Sensei spar, that was put out after the Logan fight, not before. And I honestly think that you are lying purposely because that is just such a factual. I don't know how you would. What made you come to the conclusion that KSI put the KSI versus Sensei spar out before the Logan fight? Because clearly this shows that you don't follow KSI and you don't do your research. Because if you did, you would know that KSI said, I don't want a lot of footage of me boxing put out before the second fight because I feel like I put out too much in the lead up to the first fight. So at the end of the day, KSI's quote unquote excuse is a very valid reason for it not to happen, and I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, it literally is a great reason. And again, I don't agree. I think that the perception around KSI and his reputation amongst boxing people should change now, and I think that he should have. I think he should film it and release it publicly just to change the narrative. But so I don't agree with KSI, and I think that he should be improving it rather than keeping the perception. But I do understand it, and I know that it's not a BS excuse essentially. Like I understand that it's not. Like if you actually read this comment here and you listen to what I'm saying, it makes sense why KSI doesn't want this to happen. He's not reinventing boxing. He's not trying to fix anything. He's simply not wanting people to see how much he's improved. And again, Realist just goes on this whole tangent of how, this sparring doesn't show anything. And for example, the Jake Paul spar where Roundhouse Radio and Wade Concept did a whole 10-minute video on this one flaw. So people can still dissect and analyze boxing. And Jake Paul has continued to do that excuse in all of his fights. So for Woodley, he can take that. So anytime anyone releases sparring footage, they're going to clock flaws, they're going to clock positives. Even though they will never fight that way in an actual fight, that is still something they can take into consideration and study, especially if it's recent. Whereas if it's old, that was like 3 years ago, so you can't really take that with as much worth as something that's current. And I think it's less about Austin finding out how he boxes, because KSI isn't worried about that. He just wants the perception to stay the same, and he wants to shock people like Gib did, and it's a smart business move. It makes sense, and I don't think there's really no debate in my counter argument, because I think it's pretty clear and solid and backed up with hardcore evidence.
Any clout. That's all it is. Because he's spiteful. He doesn't like Adam.
Okay, so then he goes on to this tangent about KSI.
Joe Weller and JJ had their fight. Guess what? So someone told doesn't want Adam to gain off his name, and the proof is right there. It's so obvious, but people just can't think for themselves.
And we can think for ourselves. I think you can't, Conrad. I'd also like to mention is that yes, this is, and he goes on to state that this is the focal, fundamental reason why this doesn't want to happen. This is the main reason is what I just explained in that huge tangent. But the secondary reason, the supporting reason, is he doesn't want Adam to get clout. He doesn't want Adam to put this out. And why would KSI trust Adam to film something when he knows that Adam rigged his last fight and may have rigged his last fight, which was a couple weeks ago? Any sane person would not trust somebody that rigged their last fight to record a spar, because you would probably think if they get beaten badly, they're gonna misconstrue this and manipulate the footage. And why should Adam gain anything from this? Adam shouldn't have it. Like, it's so clear Adam is a clout chaser. And in the initial negotiations, because they set up this spar before Adam's fight, Adam didn't mention anything about filming. And then out of the blue, he says, "Oh, I want to film." Like, you can't just do that. Like, if you are in a contract with somebody and you sign everything and everything's all set, and then weeks later you say, "Oh, but this huge thing happens," you can't do that. That's not how life or business works. And again, Adam, after his last fight, because this whole debacle happened over the past week, but the week before that, Adam should have been in London, and he shouldn't have been in Dubai. And again, Adam is now not going to the UK, but he should have been in the UK before. If you understand the quarantine rules, Adam should have been there already. I just think that KSI knows that Adam is clout chasing. He's trying to gain something, and he really shouldn't be gaining anything. He doesn't have the right to demand anything. He's there to go, spar, leave, and that's it. And this person also commented, I do think JJ has the right not to show any footage until he's a fight against Austin. However, I hope both JJ and Adam come to good terms where they both benefit from this. And again, I think the only one who should benefit is KSI. Adam should not benefit from this at all. And if this was a fight, KSI would be the A side, and Adam doesn't have the right to demand for anything or make any drastic changes. And I just snorted like a pig or something. I'm sorry. But essentially, in conclusion, I know I've been talking for a long time, and most of you have clocked out. But essentially, Adam has no right to demand anything from KSI, and it's so obvious that that's what he's trying to do. So why would KSI allow him to do that?
At the end of the day, JJ can't say to Adam, yeah, come do the spar, but don't record it, because, that's not what we do as a job. Come over, spend a bunch of money and spar me, and then that's it. Why would he do that? Like, imagine if it was the other way around. Imagine if Adam said, no, JJ, no, I'm coming over, but you can't film it. You really think people would accept it? They would just immediately start bullying Adam, saying, oh, you're a pussy, you're just going to get beaten up and you know it. But because it's JJ, oh, yeah, it's fine. Like, really?
And here's the thing, the whole Adam thing, people would have the right to say that because Adam rigged his last fight. So if Adam was like, "Oh, I don't want you to film this," that would only prove that he rigged his last fight and that this man's a shady character. So that's one of the worst comparisons I've ever heard.
Realistically, what's the reason why people want to watch this spar? It's got nothing to do with Adam. Realistically, no one cares about Adam.
That's a
people
fact.
Just want to see JJ
He's
fight.
got no fans and he's irrelevant.
"Oh, I've been training again. I've been learning this and learning that." People want to call your bluff and see if you're chatting shit. After watching the spar, yeah, maybe if Adam released it, it'd probably get him a few million views. But if people don't care about Adam, they're not going to subscribe and carry on watching him. It wouldn't help his career in one bit, because it's a battle between these two. KSI fans, they're not going to go and watch Adam because clearly JJ doesn't like Adam. That's not how fan bases work. It's just constant excuses, like things like him saying that, "Oh, when you come over to England, you're going to have to self-isolate. You've left it too long." Well, Logan didn't self-isolate when he came over to England. JJ's just doing classic JJ. JJ's just keeping everything squeaky clean. He's putting it all on Adam, saying, "Look, you've longed this out. I don't."
And again, I think Dubai is in a certain restriction to the UK, because Logan was coming from America to the UK, Adam is coming from Dubai to the UK, and I think Strike Ninja mentioned this in his video, that Dubai is under different circumstances than the US, so yeah.
Don't want you to record this for some bullshit reason. This is all.
And if anything, the Logan Paul comparison is also terrible because that was when he went to go to the UK. That was back in June when everything seemed to be going well. Now we're in the whole Delta age and everything's getting more restrictive. So it's like, how are you so bad at your job, dude? I just don't get it, man.
On you. Can't take any blame. Can't just sit there and say, I don't want you recording it because I'm still shit. If you truly believe that JJ releasing sparring footage is going to
Okay, so they just
no sense. Doing one spar doesn't reveal shit. Bottom line.
And it does reveal a lot, and it also shows because a lot of people can have attention on that spar, and he wants to shock the world with his technique in an actual fight. And again, the whole point is, like, Adam is the one that canceled this. KSI was willing to spar Adam. It doesn't matter who wins or, well, it does matter who wins or loses, but it doesn't matter if we get to see it or not. And who are you gonna believe? The guy that rigged the fight, or KSI, who takes criticism well? And I mean, the realist wouldn't know this, but he literally made a video where he basically read to himself getting roasted on the KSI show. Like, at the end of the day, man, like, it's just not an excuse. And again, spars do reveal a lot, and it also reveals, like, that he got so much better, and he wants to save that perception, as Gibb probably would have. So, anyways, it just shows that the guy doesn't understand a lot about anything, except maybe video games, and living in his mom's basement, of course.
Mine is JJ just simply doesn't want Adam to make any money because he doesn't like him, and he probably thinks.
Okay, so then
you could have said that. You could have helped but big himself up, acting like he's some sort of changed boxer, like he's now a philosopher in boxing. You're not. You are not. You haven't got anything that's going to surprise someone.
And again, we already went over this, but, like, Gibb is a prime example, like, well, he took us all by surprise, and KSI could very much do the same.
Boxing. Yeah, your technique is based on what punches you prefer to throw. There you go. Well done. Oh, people figured out you like to throw a double jab. Fuck me. Now people know that you're going to get knocked out. No. Or JJ just needed any excuse not to do it because he's been lying and he's not even in shape. I believe he probably has boxing ability because I don't know if I'll have the screenshots for this, but he was basically saying, JJ was basically saying that he wasn't, he hasn't been running or he hasn't been doing his cardio, just been sharpening up on his skills. And obviously, if he hasn't been training properly, like he said he's been doing, you know, he could probably last 2 rounds of sparring and then say, lads, I'm fucked. I can't do anymore. And then that would just prove that he's been lying about training this whole time. And he doesn't want to reveal that because everything is always planned and JJ can never look bad. And here's the thing that people will be missing. When JJ released his sparring footage before, when he was fighting Logan, JJ looked composed.
Okay, so that was a lie, obviously. And again, KSI is in shape. I mean, prime example number 1, this was taken a few months ago. And then there was obviously the KSI show where he wasn't in terrible shape. So the guy clearly is in physical condition. Not the best, but, you know, he is actually not like, he's not like he's not like this, you know, and he's not like this, like he's in the middle. And I mean, this is another picture that was taken a few months ago, but still, he's in good shape. Simon, True Jordy, Leon Willis, Vidal. I mean, so many people have backed up KSI saying the guy's training, he's sparring 12 rounds, he's going against world champions. KSI said on the Impulsive show, I'm in the gym 5 times a day, I'm still sparring. There was just so much evidence and also photo evidence to prove that KSI is in actual good shape, good condition, and he is training. I mean, I know this isn't top shape, but you don't, like, look like this and you're not training for something, clearly. So, I mean, like, look at this guy. Big muscles. But anyways, the realist basically is trying to now just, like, make up things to justify his narrative.
He looked like he knew what he was doing. Nobody expected him to fight so wild. So what the fuck are you on about? Your sparring proves nothing. All it shows is whether you've got good or bad boxing IQ. That's it. So stop acting like you're hiding some sort of secret sauce because you haven't got anything.
Hold on.
Boxing.
So I want to go, and again, this point was once again proven because again, it's
All it shows is whether you've got good or bad boxing.
because again, I always say KSI boxed Logan wildly for a reason, and he's not gonna do that to any other opponent. And again, he's gonna break that perception when there's as many eyes and as much money can be made. And it's just a smart business move, and it's just way more of a better use of his time than devoting it to Adam and people then having that perception then. So anyways, it's just I'm basically repeating myself at this point, but
IQ. That's it. So stop acting like you're hiding some sort of secret sauce because you haven't got anything. It's boxing. I know this.
Oh man, I hold on.
Some sort of
I need to play the meme
because you haven't got anything. It's boxing.
Ugh, I need to play the meme, guys. I have to do it.
It's boxing.
Oh my god, this guy is so
boxing.
Oh come on.
It's boxing.
Oh my god, hold on one more time.
It's boxing.
So hold on.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No. Look at the top of his head.
I'm sorry, I just had to play that meme. It was just too classic. But I mean, honestly, listen. I'm not trying to be mean, but like you kind of like well, let's just say I understand now why you are single and you've not had good experiences with women. I mean, teeth or kind of remind me of Peter Rabbit in a little bit, and I mean just yeah, man, it's just not really visually appealing to the senses. But you're a great buddy, though, you know. Anyways,
I know this video will make people angry, but you know what? I'm literally done just trying to please people.
when has he ever pleased people?
And this is honestly how I see it. If you listen to what I'm saying, it makes way more sense than the official statement that came from JJ.
It really doesn't, because your logic is so flawed, and it's so bad, and I just disproved it on such a big level. It's embarrassing. Anyways, guys, I know this is a pretty long video, but I just had to expose the clown once again, known as Conrad the Realist. Make sure to like, sub, and comment. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And yeah, man, I love when he makes these kind of videos. I mean, it's laughably bad at this point. So yeah.